Lucia has no daddy, Matteo shouted from the other side of the yard, pointing his finger while the other children laughed. Lucia clenched her fists, her cheeks red as tomatoes. I have a daddy, she lied, raising her voice. He just works. Then why does he never pick you up? Anna asked, crossing her arms. My daddy always picks me up, and mine too, Carlos added. Tomorrow is Father's Day at school. Who will come with you? Lucia fell silent, not knowing what to say. Her mother worked as a cleaner in offices and never had time for such things, and her father, however, had never really existed. She knew that. You don't have a daddy, Matteo mocked again. Shut up! Lucy yelled, ran to the school fence, hid behind a tree, and started crying. She hated when children told her such things, hated that she didn't have a daddy like everyone else, hated that tomorrow everyone would come with their daddies, and she would be alone again. As she cried, she saw a man on the other side of the fence. He was tall, in a very elegant suit, with black hair, and looked important, like those gentlemen on TV. Lucy wiped her tears and looked at him. The man was talking on the phone, but he looked serious, as if angry at someone. I don't care what the board says, he said. If they can't handle such a crisis, it's simple. Let them find another job. He hung up and sighed. Lucia thought he looked tired. Suddenly, she had a crazy idea. An idea that scared her, but at the same time gave her hope. She slowly approached the fence. Sir, she said softly. The man turned to her. He had brown eyes like hers. Yes, little girl? Lucia swallowed, her heart beating fast. Do you have children? The man frowned. Why do you ask? Lucia felt her hands trembling. Tomorrow is Father's Day at my school, and I don't have a daddy. The man looked at her more closely. All the children will come with their daddies, and I will be alone. The other children laugh at me because I don't have a daddy. Her voice trembled. Tears flowed again. Can you be my daddy for the school celebration? She suddenly asked. Just for one day, please. The man was silent. Lucia saw that he was looking at her strangely, as if he didn't understand what she was asking. Please, Lucia begged. You don't have to do anything complicated. Just come with me and pretend to be my daddy, just for one day. The man came a little closer to the fence. What's your name? Lucia Martinez. Lucia, I can't. Why? Lucia suddenly asked. Because I'm ugly or because I don't have pretty clothes like the other children? No, it's not like that, the man quickly replied. It's not like that at all. Then why? Lucy asked, wiping her nose with her sleeve. I would be a good daughter. I don't mess around and don't cause trouble. The man sighed and ran a hand through his hair. Lucia, it's complicated. I don't know your mom and she doesn't know me. I can't just show up at your school. But she said I can invite anyone. Lucia lied desperately. She said it could be anyone who is important to me. The man looked at her for a long time. Lucy noticed something strange in his eyes, as if he was sad. I'm sorry, Lucia, he finally said. I can't do this. He turned and began to walk away. Wait, Lucia shouted. Please, just for one day. But the man did not stop. He got into a very beautiful car and drove away. Lucy remained standing by the fence, watching the car disappear. She felt as if her heart had been broken into 1,000 pieces. The next day, all the children came with their daddies. Lucy sat alone in the corner of the classroom, watching the other families laugh and play together. The teacher, Senorita Carmen, approached her. Your mom couldn't come today, Lucia. No, Lucia whispered. She's working. Senorita Carmen smiled sadly and patted her head. Don't worry, you can help me prepare materials for the lessons. But Lucy didn't want to help with anything. She just wanted to disappear. Santiago Herrera couldn't sleep that night. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the face of that little girl, Lucia. Her sad eyes and her faltering voice when she asked if he could be her daddy. He got out of bed and walked to the window of his penthouse. The city seemed calm from the 30th floor, but his mind was full of noise. Can I be her daddy for the school celebration? These words haunted him. Santiago had built a business empire, made million-dollar deals, dealt with the most difficult situations in the business world, but a 5-year-old girl completely disarmed him with one simple question. Damn it, he muttered, running his hands over his face. At 6:00 a.m., he was already awake and drinking coffee, looking out the window. His secretary, Doña Esperanza, as always, arrived early. Good morning, Mr. Herrera. Did you sleep well? Esperanza, I need you to find something out for me. Of course. Tell me what you need. There's a school in the Santa Maria neighborhood. It's called... Santiago hesitated, not knowing the name of the school. It's an elementary school. There's a girl there named Lucia Martinez. Today, they have a Father's Day celebration. Doña Esperanza looked at him with curiosity. Do you want me to find out something about this school? Call and ask if I can still come to the celebration as a guest invited by Lucia Martinez. Sir, are you sure? This is a bit unusual. Just do it, Esperanza, please. An hour later, Doña Esperanza returned with the information. Sir, I spoke with the principal of the Benito Juarez Elementary School. They said the celebration starts at 10:00 a.m., but a written permission from the girl's mother is required. Santiago felt his stomach clench. Were you able to contact the mother? Yes, her name is Isabel Martinez. She works as a cleaner. I explained that you want to come as a special guest on behalf of her daughter. She was very surprised, but she agreed. Santiago couldn't believe his ears. She agreed. Yes, sir, but she wants to meet you before the celebration. She'll be at the school at... Santiago looked at his watch. It was 8:00 a.m. Get the car ready. We're going there. Are you sure, Mr. Herrera? You have an important meeting at 11:00, and you're canceling everything. Today, I have more important business. When Santiago arrived at the school, he saw a young woman waiting at the entrance. She had her hair tied back in a ponytail and was wearing a work uniform. She looked tired, but she had the same brown eyes as Lucy. Are you Santiago Herrera? She asked as he approached. Yes, and you must be Isabel. I don't understand why you're doing this, Isabel said directly. I don't know you. I don't know anything about you. Why do you want to come to my daughter's celebration? Santiago took a deep breath. Yesterday, your daughter asked me to be her daddy for one day. She said that the other children laugh at her because she doesn't have a daddy and that she wants to come to the celebration. Isabel looked down. Lucia didn't tell me anything about this. She was crying. She was very sad. I told her I couldn't help, but I couldn't stop thinking about her all night. Isabel looked him in the eyes. Do you have children? No. Are you married? No. Then why are you doing this? Santiago was silent for a moment. I don't know, he admitted. I just know I can't let that girl feel alone today. Isabel looked at him carefully. Okay, she finally said, but on one condition. I'll be here too, and I'll be watching everything. If I see something I don't like, you'll leave immediately. Understood? When they entered the classroom, Santiago saw Lucia. Lucia was sitting alone in the corner, her head down, nervously playing with her hands. The teacher was explaining the assignment. When Lucia looked up and saw him, her eyes widened. Sir, she whispered, not believing her eyes. Santiago approached her and knelt down to her level. Hi, Lucia. I came to be your daddy for one day, as you asked. Lucia jumped up from her chair and hugged him so tightly that Santiago felt like he couldn't breathe. You came! You really came! She cried happily. All the children in the classroom turned to see what was happening. Mateo, the boy who had mocked Lucia the day before, stared at her with an open mouth. Teacher! Lucia shouted. My daddy really came. This is my daddy. The teacher smiled. That's great, Lucy. Do you want to participate in the first activity? Santiago spent the next 2 hours doing things he had never done before in his life, coloring drawings with crayons, playing blind man's bluff, and even participating in a 3-legged race. Lucia didn't leave his side for a second, holding his hand and introducing him to all her classmates. This is my daddy, Santiago. She laughed at everything he did. At the end of the celebration, they went up to a small stage for each child to say something nice about their daddy. When it was Lucia's turn, she took the microphone with both hands. My daddy is the kindest in the world, she said with a trembling voice. He came when I needed him most, and he made me very happy. I love you, Daddy. Santiago felt a strange feeling in his chest, as if something had broken and at the same time healed. He couldn't get Lucy's words out of his head all week. I love you, Daddy. He never thought that 5 words could affect him so much. The following Saturday, he found himself driving to the Santa Maria neighborhood, not quite understanding why. He stopped in front of a small park near the school and remained there thoughtful. His phone rang. It was Doña Esperanza. Mr. Herrera, is everything okay? You've canceled all your weekend meetings, and that's not like you. I'm fine, Esperanza. I just need to think about some things. Is it related to the girl from the school? Santiago sighed. Yes, madam. If I may say so, I've seen you in difficult situations, but I've never seen you so touched by something. What are you trying to say? Maybe this girl didn't appear in your life by chance. Santiago hung up and continued to sit in the car. In the distance, he saw Lucia playing on the swings with her mom. The girl looked happy, laughing as Isabel pushed her. Without thinking twice, Santiago got out of the car and walked towards them. Mr. Santiago, Lucy asked, seeing him run towards them. What are you doing here? Isabel slowly approached, with a worried expression on her face. Hello, Lucy, Santiago said, kneeling down to talk to her. I was just passing by and saw you. Are you having fun? Yes, Mom brought me to the park because I behaved well all week at school, the girl replied. Santiago looked at Isabel. Can we talk alone? Isabel nodded, and they moved aside while Lucia continued to play. I don't understand why you're here, Isabel said. I thought after the school celebration, everything was over. I thought so too, Santiago admitted. But I can't stop thinking about her, about how she felt that day when everyone laughed at her. Listen, Mr. Herrera, I'm very grateful for what you did for Lucia, really, Isabel said. But she's just a child. I don't understand your feelings for someone she doesn't know. If you disappear from her life now, it will hurt her a lot. Santiago fell silent. Isabel was right. What if I don't disappear? He asked after a while. What do you mean? What if I continue to come to see her on weekends, maybe just to spend time with her? Isabel looked at him as if he had gone crazy. Are you serious? Very serious. Why would you do that? You don't know us. We are completely different people. You are rich, we are poor. You live in a world I can't even imagine. I don't care about that. Oh no, Isabel said, crossing her arms. What will happen when you get tired of playing daddy? What will happen when you have more important things to do? What will happen when you meet a woman and want to start your own family? Santiago didn't know how to answer those questions. I don't know, he admitted. I just know that I want to be in Lucia's life. I want to make sure she never feels alone again, like that day. Isabel looked at him for a long time. Do you understand what you're asking for? Lucia already sees you as her daddy. If you're going to be in her life, you have to be real. Not show up when you feel like it and disappear when more important things come up. I understand. I'm ready to come to school plays, to doctor's appointments when she's sick, to help with homework, to stay up at night if she has nightmares. Santiago felt his heart beat faster. I'm ready for her to call me daddy in front of other people, to explain to my family and friends why I'm raising the daughter of a woman who is not my wife. Yes, Isabel took a deep breath. Okay, but let's start gradually. You can come to see her on Saturday afternoons, no more than 2 hours, and I'll always be there. Great. If at any point you decide it's too difficult for you, tell me immediately. I don't want Lucia to find out by chance. That won't happen, I hope. Lucia ran up to them. What were you talking about? She asked. Santiago knelt down to her level. I asked your mom for permission to come see you on Saturdays. Really? Lucia shrieked, jumping for joy. You're going to come visit me? Yes, princess. Every Saturday. Lucia hugged him tightly, and Santiago felt himself melt. I love you, Daddy, she whispered in his ear. That night, Santiago couldn't sleep for a long time, thinking about what he had done. He had made a commitment he didn't fully understand, with a little girl he barely knew, and with a woman who didn't trust him. But for the first time in a long time, he felt he was doing something truly important. He made a silent promise to himself. Whatever happened, he would not let Lucia down and would be the daddy she needed, even if he didn't know how to do it. The following Saturday, he arrived exactly on time at the park. Lucia was waiting for him with a drawing she had made for him. This is our family, she explained, showing him the paper. You, me, and Mom. Santiago looked at the drawing, 3 stick figures holding hands and smiling. For the first time in his life, he felt part of something bigger than himself. Saturday meetings with Lucy became Santiago's favorite part of the week. They had already been going to her for 2 months, and the girl had blossomed like a spring flower. She was no longer the shy and sad girl he had first met. She ran to him, shouting, Daddy! Every time he came to the park. Isabel remained cautious, but Santiago noticed that she no longer watched him so closely, sometimes even smiling when he played with Lucy. That Monday, Santiago arrived early at his office on the 40th floor of the tallest building in the city center. He had an important meeting with Japanese investors, and he wanted to check all the documents before they arrived. Good morning, Mr. Herrera, said the security guard Robert when he entered the lobby. Good morning, Robert. Santiago went up to his office and started working. It was 7:00 a.m. The building was almost empty. Only cleaners and a few executives came early. Like him. He was concentrating on checking the contracts when he heard a familiar voice in the corridor. Oh, Maria, I forgot to clean the office at the end. I'll be right back. Santiago frowned. That voice seemed familiar. He got up from his desk and looked out of his office. At the end of the corridor, he saw a woman in a cleaning uniform. She had a ponytail and was pushing a cart with cleaning supplies. His heart stopped. It was Isabel. Santiago remained paralyzed, watching Isabel clean the offices on the 40th floor. His floor, the floor where he worked every day. Isabel worked in his building, in his company. He hid behind the door, watching her carefully wipe every desk, empty trash cans, vacuum carpets. A strange feeling arose in Santiago's stomach, a mixture of surprise, shame, and something he couldn't define. When Isabel approached his office, Santiago quickly closed the door and sat at his desk, pretending to work. He heard her knock on the door. "May I?" she asked. "Come in," Santiago replied, without taking his eyes off his papers. Isabel entered with her cleaning cart. Santiago heard her moving around the office, picking up papers, wiping the desk, emptying the trash can. "Excuse me," Isabel said. "May I clean your desk?" Santiago looked up, and their eyes met, and time seemed to stand still. Isabel froze, her face pale, her hands trembling. Santiago whispered almost soundlessly, "Hello, Isabel." Isabel looked around. A huge office with windows overlooking the entire city, with expensive furniture and paintings worth more than her annual salary. This is your office?" she said, not believing her eyes. "Yes," he replied. Isabel was silent for a long time, then began to shake her head from side to side. "It can't be," she mumbled. "It can't be, Isabel. It can be," she exclaimed, dropping the cloth she had in her hands. "I clean your office. I clean your bathroom. I take out your trash every day." Santiago got up from his chair. "Isabel, please calm down." "Calm down?" She laughed, but it was an unhappy laugh. "Do you know how long I've been working in this building? Do you know how many times I've cleaned this office?" 3 years, Isabel continued. "For 3 years, I've been cleaning the office of the man who now wants to be my daughter's father. This changes nothing." "It changes everything," Santiago said. "Why?" she asked. "Did you know who I was? Did you know I worked here? Did you know I was the poor woman who cleaned your office?" "No," he answered honestly. "I didn't know." "How could you not know? I'm your employee." Santiago ran a hand through his hair. "Isabel, there are thousands of employees in the company. I don't know everyone. Cleaning services are external contractors. I don't work with them directly." "Those are all excuses," Isabel interrupted him. "No, it's the truth." Isabel began to gather her things. "I'm leaving." "Where?" Santiago asked. "I'm quitting. I can't work here anymore." "No, Isabel, wait." He approached her, but she stepped back. "Don't touch me, please. Listen, this shouldn't change anything between us." "You're crazy," she exclaimed. "Of course it changes. You're my boss. I'm your employee. You have millions, and I barely have enough for rent. I don't care." "I do," Isabel shouted. "It matters a lot to me." She pushed the cart towards the door. "Isabel, please, think about Lucia." Isabel stopped. "Don't use my daughter to manipulate me." "I'm not manipulating. I'm asking you not to make hasty decisions." Isabel turned to him. "You know what hurts me the most? Lucia loves you. She really loves you. And now I'll have to explain to her why her daddy is her mom's boss." "You don't have to explain anything. This is between you and me, not with Lucia." "No, Santiago. This concerns Lucy and the fact that I'll never be good enough for someone like you." Isabel left the office, leaving Santiago alone. That same day, Santiago called an emergency meeting with all the company's directors. "I want you to check all contracts with service companies. Cleaning, security, cafeteria, everything," he said. "Is there a problem?" "Yes, Mr. Herrera. What's the problem?" "We're not paying enough. I want to increase the salaries of all freelance workers by 50%. 50%? The directors exclaimed in surprise. "I don't care how much it costs. Do it." The directors exchanged confused glances. "I also want to implement a scholarship program for the children of all freelance employees." "Mr. Herrera, are you sure?" "Very sure. I want everything to be ready by next week." Santiago knew that Isabel would never know that these changes were made for her sake, but it didn't matter. The main thing was to do the right thing. That night, he stayed late in the office, looking out the window at the city. For the first time in his life, he understood the difference between power and using that power for good. 2 weeks later, after he learned that Isabel worked in his building, everything changed. Isabel asked to be transferred to the night shift so as not to meet him. On Saturdays, Santiago came to the park as usual, but they were not there. He waited for hours, but neither Lucy nor Isabel was seen. His secretary, Doña Esperanza, noticed that something was wrong with him. Mr. Herrera, is everything okay? You've been very distracted lately. I'm fine, Esperanza. It's about the girl. She hasn't talked about her for a long time. Santiago sighed. It's complicated. Do you want me to do anything? No, I have to solve this myself. But Santiago didn't know how to solve the problem. He tried to call Isabel, but she didn't answer. He tried to find her at work, but the guards said she specifically asked not to let him up. Meanwhile, the changes Santiago had implemented in the company began to bear fruit. The salaries of freelance workers increased, scholarships were approved, and working conditions significantly improved. But Isabel still didn't talk to him. One day, Santiago decided to go directly to the apartment where Isabel and Lucy lived. He knew the address because he had seen it in the company documents. He arrived at a small apartment building in Santa Maria, modest but clean and well-maintained. He went up to the second floor and knocked on the door. No one opened. He knocked again. Silence. Santiago stood at the door for almost an hour, waiting for someone to come. Finally, a woman came out of the neighboring apartment. Are you looking for Isabel and Lucia? She asked. Yes. Do you know where they are? They left a week ago, said they were moving in with Isabel's sister. Santiago felt as if he had been punched in the stomach. Do you know where her sister lives? No, sorry. I only know she lives in another city. Santiago returned to his car and sat there for a long time, unable to believe that Isabel had taken Lucia so far away, unable to believe that they had simply disappeared from his life. That night, he couldn't sleep, walking around his penthouse feeling as if the walls were pressing in on him. For the first time in many years, his luxurious home seemed empty and cold. The next day, he hired a private detective. I need you to find a woman named Isabel Martinez and her daughter, Lucia, he said. They moved a week ago, possibly to her sisters. Do you have any additional information? Santiago provided all the available data. The detective said the search would take several days. While he waited, Santiago couldn't concentrate on work, canceling important meetings, not answering calls, and staring out the window for hours. Doña Esperanza was worried. Mr. Herrera, if I'm not mistaken, he's suffering from love? It's not love, Esperanza said. It's complicated. You're completely lost because of this woman and her daughter, and there's nothing wrong with that. Santiago looked at her. Do you think I'm in love with Isabel? Sir, I've been working with you for 5 years, and I've never seen you like this. I've never seen any woman affect you so much. But she hates me. She thinks I'm just playing with her and with Lucy, and it's true. Are you playing? Santiago was silent for a moment. No, I'm not playing. Lucia has become the most important person in my life, and her mom, Isabel, is the strongest woman I've ever met. She's hardworking, a good mother, honest. Everything I didn't know, I was looking for. Then go and tell her that. I don't know where she is. Did you hire a detective? Yes, Santiago said. At that moment, the phone rang. It was the detective. Mr. Herrera, I found Isabel Martinez. She's in Guadalajara at her sister's. I have the address. Santiago took a piece of paper and wrote down the address. Thank you. I'll transfer the payment now. He hung up and looked at Esperanza. She's in Guadalajara. What are you waiting for? Go after them. What if she doesn't want to see me? What if she doesn't want me to see Lucia? Mr. Herrera, do you remember what you told me the first day you met that girl? You said you never felt so needed that for the first time you did something truly important. Santiago nodded. Then now is the time to show how important it is to you. He got up from his chair. Get the private jet ready. We're flying to Guadalajara. Sir, I don't... Esperanza, I'll need all your help. This is the most important thing I've ever done in my life. 2 hours later, Santiago was already flying to Guadalajara. He packed a small bag, but didn't know how long he would stay there. He only knew one thing. He wouldn't return without talking to Isabel and seeing Lucia. During the flight, he rehearsed what he would tell them, but every time he imagined the conversation, the words got tangled in his head. How to explain to Isabel that he had been looking for her like crazy? How to say that he couldn't live without her? And to Lucia, how to convey that money and social differences don't matter, that the main thing is to be a family? When the plane landed in Guadalajara, Santiago got into a taxi and gave the address. It's a regular neighborhood, the driver said. Are you sure you want to go here? Yes, I'm sure. On the way, Santiago noticed that his palms were sweating. He hadn't been so nervous in a long time. Upon arrival, he paid the driver and stood on the sidewalk, looking at a small one-story house. He took a deep breath and approached the door, rang the bell. The door was opened by a woman very similar to Isabel, but a little older. Yes? She asked with distrust. Good afternoon. Are you Isabel Martinez's sister? Who's asking? My name is Santiago Herrera. I'm a friend of Isabel and Lucia. The woman squinted. Ah, you're that Santiago. Santiago felt his stomach churn. Surely Isabel hadn't said good things about him. Is Isabel home? She's working. She found a job at a factory here in Guadalajara. Lucia is inside. The woman paused. Listen, I don't know what you want, but Isabel was very clear. She doesn't want anything to do with you. Please, I just need to talk to her for 5 minutes. Isabel won't be back until 8:00 p.m., and I've already told her I don't want to see you. Santiago looked at his watch. It was 3:00 p.m. I'll wait here, if necessary. Isabel's sister looked at him as if he were crazy. Are you serious? Very. The woman sighed. Okay, you can wait inside, but if Isabel comes and doesn't want to see you, you leave immediately. Understood? Santiago entered the small but cozy house. In the living room, there were family photos and children's toys scattered on the floor. Sit down, Isabel's sister said. I'll bring you a glass of water. As he waited, he heard a familiar voice. Aunt Carmen, who was that man at the door? Santiago turned and saw Lucia standing in the hallway. The girl froze in place. Daddy, she whispered, as if not believing her eyes. Hello, princess. Lucy rushed to him and threw herself into his arms. Santiago picked her up and hugged her tightly, feeling that part of him that was broken finally healing. Daddy, I knew you would come. I told Mom you would come for me. Santiago felt his eyes well up with tears. Of course I came for you. I missed you very much. I missed you too. Mom has been very sad since we moved here. She cries every night and doesn't know I hear her. Santiago felt a pain in his chest. Why is your mom crying? I don't know, but I think it's because of you. Every time I ask about you, she gets sad and asks me not to talk about it. Aunt Carmen returned with water and saw Santiago hugging Lucia. Oh my God, Lucia, get down from there. No, Aunt, this is my daddy, Santiago. See, he came for us. Carmen looked at Santiago with an expression he couldn't understand. Lucy, go to your room. I need to talk to Mr. Santiago. But Aunt, go to your room right now. Lucia kissed Santiago on the cheek. Don't leave. Promise you won't leave. I won't leave, princess. When Lucy left, Carmen sat opposite Santiago. This girl has been crying every night since she came here. Every day she asks about you. Isabel doesn't know what to tell her. Why did they leave? Because Isabel is confused. She says you're too good to be true, that men like you aren't interested in women like her. That's not true. I know it's not true, but Isabel has suffered a lot. Lucia's father abandoned her when he found out she was pregnant. Since then, she doesn't trust men. Santiago was silent, digesting this information. Isabel never told me about Lucia's father. Of course not. Isabel doesn't talk about it with anyone, but I know that when you first appeared in their lives, in the last 5 years, I saw her truly happy. Then why did they leave? She's afraid that you'll get tired of playing family and abandon them like Lucia's father. Santiago ran a hand through his hair. I would never do that. She'll have to tell herself that. At 8:00 p.m., Santiago heard the front door open. He stood up, nervous. Isabel entered the house, carrying a supermarket bag. She looked tired, in a dirty factory uniform with messy hair. Seeing him, she froze. What are you doing here? She asked almost silently. I came to talk to you. I have nothing to talk to you about. Isabel put the bag on the floor and headed to her room, but Santiago followed her. Isabel, please, 5 minutes. No, I already told you I don't want to see you. But Lucy wants me to see her, Santiago shouted. This girl needs me, and I need her. Isabel stopped. What about me? She asked, turning to him. I need you more than you think. Isabel began to cry. I don't believe you. Santiago approached her. Isabel, these days have been the worst of my life. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't work. I couldn't think of anything but you. Why? Why are we... You can have any woman you want. Because I don't want any woman. I want you. I want the woman who works 2 shifts to give her daughter the best. I want the woman who taught me what's more important than money. I want the woman who made me feel like a real man for the first time in my life. Isabel continued to cry. We are very different, Santiago. I will never fit into your world. Then let's create our own world. Santiago took out his phone and showed her a message he had received that afternoon. Do you know what this is? It's a message from my lawyer. I transferred the title of your house in Mexico to your name. Now it's yours, so you'll never have to worry about paying rent again. Isabel read the message with wide eyes. Why did you do that? because I love you and I want you to know. For me, this is not a game. Isabel was silent for a long time. She misses you, she finally whispered. And I miss her and you. Isabel slowly approached him. If we do this, it's forever. Lucy can't go through another disappointment. It will be forever. Do you promise? I promise. Isabel threw herself into his arms and kissed him. Santiago felt that he had finally found his place in the world. 3 months passed since their reunion in Guadalajara, and the lives of the three took on a completely different rhythm. Santiago decided to temporarily move to a house he rented near Isabel and Lucy's apartment to be closer to them while they built a new life together. "Daddy, you're here!" Lucy would shout every evening when Santiago knocked on the door. They developed a routine. Every day after work, Santiago would pick Lucia up from school. Then they would drive together to pick up Isabel at her new job at an accounting office, which Santiago had helped her get, and the three of them would have dinner together. "How was your day at school, Princess?" Santiago would ask while driving. "Good. The teacher asked us to write about our family. I wrote about you and Mom." Santiago smiled, looking at Lucia in the rearview mirror. "And what did you write?" "I wrote that my daddy is the kindest in the world because he came for me when I was sad, and Mom is the most hardworking because she always takes care of me." When they picked up Isabel, Santiago noticed that she looked more relaxed without that constant expression of worry she had when cleaning offices. "How was your day?" Santiago asked when Isabel got into the car. "Good. The chief accountant said I learn fast. I think in a few months I'll get a promotion." "That's great, Mom. Did you tell Dad about the parent-teacher conference?" Isabel was a little nervous. "Oh, yes, there's a parent-teacher conference on Friday at school. Do you want me to go?" "Of course. What time?" "At 6:00 p.m. I'll be there." In the evening, as usual, Santiago stayed for dinner. Isabel had learned to cook some of his favorite dishes, and Santiago had learned to wash dishes without breaking them. "Daddy, can you help me with my math homework?" Lucia asked after dinner. "Of course, Princess." They sat at the kitchen table. Lucia opened her notebook, and Santiago saw addition and subtraction problems. "Come on, read the first problem. Maria has 8 candies. Her daddy gave her 5 more. How many candies does Maria have in total? What do you think?" 8, Johnny, 5. Lucy counted on her fingers. 13. "Very good. You're very smart, really." Lucia continued to do her homework while Isabel washed the dishes. Santiago helped her dry the plates, and for a while, they worked in silence. The comfortable silence of families who have been together all their lives. "I'm done," Lucia announced. "Can I watch TV?" "Only half an hour," Isabel said. "Then you'll have to take a bath." While Lucia watched her favorite program, Santiago and Isabel sat on the sofa. "Do you regret it?" Isabel suddenly asked. "What? Making your life complicated with us?" Santiago took her hand. "Isabel, before I met you, my life was work, work, and more money. Every day was the same. I didn't have a real reason to get up in the mornings, other than to earn more money. And now I wake up with joy because I will see Lucia. I think about what we can do together on the weekends. I think about you, about how your day is going, if you need help." Isabel smiled. "I never thought I could feel this way again, like I'm protected, like I have a real partner." Santiago gently kissed her. "You always will be." On Friday, the parent-teacher conference was held. Santiago wore a more casual suit than usual and arrived at school on time. "Good evening. I'm Santiago Herrera, Lucia Martinez's daddy." He introduced himself to the teacher. "Oh, yes," she said. "Lucia talks a lot about you. It's clear she loves you very much." "And I love her too." At the meeting, the teacher spoke about each child's progress. When it was Lucy's turn, Santiago straightened up in his chair. "Lucy has improved a lot this semester," the teacher said. "She used to be very shy, barely participated in class, but in the last few months, she has become a completely different girl. She participates in games, interacts with her classmates, and always smiles." Santiago felt his chest swell with pride. Her grades have also significantly improved, and from the drawing she made about her family, it's clear that she feels loved and confident. After the meeting, Santiago went home to tell Isabel and Lucy everything the teacher had said. "The teacher talked about me?" Lucia asked with excitement. "Yes, she said you're the smartest and funniest girl in class." Lucia ran to hug him. "Because you make me happy, Daddy." That night, as Santiago was about to go home, Lucy stopped him. "Daddy, can I ask you something?" "Anything, Princess." "Are you my real daddy?" Santiago looked at Isabel, who nodded. What do you think, Lucia? I think yes, because you do everything daddies do. Help with homework, go to school meetings, take care of me when I'm sick, and love me like your real daughter. Santiago knelt down to be at Lucia's level. Lucia, maybe you weren't born from me, but you are my daughter in my heart, and you will always be my daughter. So, you're my daddy? Lucia asked, as if it were the most natural thing in the world. Yes, I'm your daddy, forever. Forever? Lucy hugged him tightly and whispered in his ear, I love you, Daddy. It was the first time she had called him Daddy without the diminutive suffix. Santiago felt something inside him simultaneously break and heal. That night, he went home, feeling that he had finally found his place in the world. He was no longer just a rich man, as he had been before. He had become a daddy, part of a family, happy. Sunday was sunny and beautiful. Santiago planned to take Isabel and Lucia to the park where it all began a few months ago. The same park where Lucia played while he watched her from afar, where he made the decision not to disappear from their lives. Let's go to the park. Let's go to the park, Lucia sang, jumping in the back seat of the car. We're almost there, Princess, Santiago said with a smile. Isabel sat in the passenger seat, looking out the window. Santiago noticed a calm smile on her face, something he hadn't seen in a long time. What are you thinking about? He asked. About how everything is different now. The last time I was in this park, I was agitated and tired, not knowing how to explain to Lucy why you had left. But now, I don't have to worry about that. I know. I just sometimes can't believe it's real. Santiago took her hand. It's real, and it always will be. When they arrived at the park, Lucia ran to the swings. Santiago and Isabel followed her and sat on a nearby bench. Daddy, push me! Lucia shouted from the swings. Santiago stood up and began to gently push Lucia. The girl laughed and screamed with delight. Higher, higher. Careful, Santiago said. Sometimes she gets too excited and doesn't assess the danger, Isabel said. She won't get hurt, trust me. After the swings, they went to the slide. Santiago climbed up with Lucy and slid down with her, laughing like a child. Isabel watched them from below, taking pictures with her phone. Mom, get on too, Lucy shouted. No, I'd rather watch from here. Come on, Mom, don't be a spoilsport. Isabel looked at Santiago, who was holding out his hand to her. Come on, once won't hurt. Isabel climbed the slide ladder. It was the first time in many years she had done something like that, but she felt free and happy. All three slid down together, laughing and screaming. When they reached the bottom, Lucia clapped her hands with delight. Again! Again! They spent the whole morning playing. Santiago ran off to Lucia when they played hide and seek, carried her on his shoulders when she wanted to reach the tree branches, and taught her how to make paper airplanes from fallen leaves. At noon, they sat on the grass for lunch. Isabel had prepared sandwiches, and Santiago had bought juices and chips. This is the best day of my life, Lucy said, taking a bite of her sandwich. Why? Santiago asked. Because we're all together, like a real family, and because you'll never leave again. Santiago felt a lump in his throat. I'll never leave, Princess. After eating, Lucia fell asleep on the grass, her head on Santiago's lap. Isabel and Santiago spoke softly so as not to wake her. Do you know what I like most about you? Isabel asked. What? That you're completely natural with Lucia. You don't act like her stepfather, or as if it's an obligation. You truly love her. I love her more than my life, and she knows it. It shows in everything she does. She's become more confident, happier, calmer. Santiago stroked sleeping Lucia's hair. I've become happier too. You've completely changed my life. Don't you miss your old life? The parties, the trips, the time you could spend just on yourself? Santiago laughed. My old life was empty. I had money, success, but no love, no reason to live other than to earn more money. And now I have everything. I have a daughter who loves me. I have a woman who makes me want to be better. I have a family. Isabel moved closer to him. I love you, Santiago. I love you. They kissed gently, trying not to wake Lucia. When Lucia woke up, it was already late. The sun had begun to set, and the park was filled with orange and pink hues. Are we leaving already? Lucia asked, stretching. In a minute, Santiago replied. First, I want to ask you something important. Lucia sat up and looked at him carefully. What? Santiago took a deep breath. He had been thinking about this for several days. Lucy, do you want me to become your daddy officially? What does that mean? Santiago looked at Isabel, who nodded. It means that we can sign documents for me to become your legal father so that no one can say we're not a real family. Lucy's eyes filled with tears of joy. Really? You can do that? Yes, I can if you want. Lucia threw herself into his arms with such force that she almost knocked him off his feet. Yes, yes, I want to. I want you to be my daddy forever. Are you sure? Sure. She pulled away from him and looked him seriously in the eyes. Daddy, can you be my daddy forever? She repeated the same words she had said months ago at school. Santiago felt that the circle had closed perfectly. I'm already your daddy. Daughter, already yours. Lucia hugged him again, and then hugged Isabel. We'll be a family forever, a real family. All three hugged on the grass in the park as the sun set behind them. Santiago looked around and realized that this was the most beautiful moment of his life. He needed nothing more. No money, no success, no recognition. Everything was there, in his arms. Love, family, the meaning of life. For the first time in his life, Santiago Herrera felt complete. I love you, Daddy, Lucy whispered in his ear. And I love you, my princess, forever. 6 months later, the lawyer's office was filled with papers, but Santiago only saw the smiles of Isabel and Lucia sitting next to him. After months of paperwork, the long-awaited day arrived. Everything is in order, Mr. Herrera, said Lawyer Ramirez, spreading the papers on the table. As of today, you are officially the legal guardian and adoptive father of Lucia Martinez. Lucia didn't quite understand the meaning of all these legal terms, but she knew it was very important because her mother had been crying with happiness all morning. So, am I officially your daughter now? Lucia asked, swinging her legs on the big chair. Yes, princess. Now you are officially Lucia Herrera Martinez. Herrera! Lucia exclaimed, clapping her hands. The lawyer smiled. I also have the documents for the educational fund that Mr. Herrera established for you, Miss Lucia. This guarantees the funding for your education up to university. Isabel took Santiago's hand. That wasn't necessary. It was necessary. I want Lucia to have every opportunity in life. When they left the office, Santiago had another surprise. Where are we going now? Isabel asked, noticing that he wasn't heading home. It's a surprise. They drove for 20 minutes until they arrived at a very beautiful residential area. Santiago parked in front of a 2-story house with a large garden and a white fence. Whose house is this? Lucy asked. Ours, Santiago simply replied. Isabel was speechless. Santiago, what have you done? I bought a house for us. I thought it was time to live together like a real family. But it must have cost a fortune. Isabel, have you forgotten that I'm rich? Santiago joked. Money is not the problem. The important thing is for Lucia to have a home where she can grow up happy. Santiago showed them around the house, a large living room, a modern kitchen, 3 bedrooms, and a backyard perfect for Lucia to play in. Look, Mom, this will be my room, Lucia exclaimed, running around the house. When they reached the master bedroom, Santiago nervously asked, Isabel, there's something I want to ask you. Isabel looked at him with curiosity. Santiago knelt down and pulled a small box from his pocket. Isabel Martinez, will you marry me? Isabel covered her mouth with her hands, completely surprised. Santiago, we haven't talked about this. But I can't imagine my life without you. I want us to be a complete family. I want Lucy to have real loving parents. Tears welled up in Isabel's eyes. Are you sure? Are you sure you want to marry someone like me? Isabel, you are the strongest, bravest, and most loving woman I have ever met. Of course, I'm sure. Say yes. Say yes, Mom, Lucia shouted, appearing out of nowhere. Say yes so we can be a real family. Isabel laughed through her tears. Yes, yes, I want to marry you. Santiago put the ring on her finger, and the 3 of them hugged in the empty room that would soon become their home. 3 months later, the wedding was small and cozy, with only Isabel's family, Doña Esperanza, and a few close friends present. Lucia was the flower girl and looked beautiful in a pink dress. During the ceremony, when the judge asked if anyone objected to the marriage, Lucia raised her hand. I object, she said in a serious voice. Everyone laughed, thinking it was a childish prank. Isabel asked, Why do you object, my love? Because they're taking too long, si Santiago, so we can go and eat cake. Everyone laughed even louder, and Santiago kissed Isabel to applause and laughter. At the reception, Lucia gave a short speech. I want to thank everyone for coming to my parents' wedding. I'm very happy because now my daddy Santiago and my mommy Isabel are married, and I have a real family. I also want to thank everyone for the gifts. especially my Aunt Carmen, who gave me something very special. Lucy held up a small brown plush bear. This is Osito Dulce. My aunt gave it to me because she says every family should have someone who keeps happy memories. And we have many happy memories. Santiago felt his eyes well up with tears. A year later, the house was filled with life. Family photos hung on the walls. Lucia's toys were scattered in the living room, and the kitchen smelled of homemade food. In the main room, on the mantelpiece, there was a wedding photo: Santiago, Isabel, and Lucia, smiling and hugging, completely happy. Next to it, in a place of honor, stood Osito Dulce. Every night before bed, Lucia would hug Osito Dulce and tell him about the good things that happened that day. Today, Dad helped me with my science homework. Mom taught me how to bake cookies, and we all had dinner together, as always. She would tell the bear, "Keep those happy memories, Osito Dulce." Santiago often stood at the door of Lucy's room and listened to these little nightly rituals. Every time he heard her, he remembered that day in the park when a 5-year-old girl asked him if he could be her daddy. He never thought that question would change his life forever. Now, looking at the photos on the shelf and at Osito Dulce, who kept all their happy memories, Santiago knew the truth. He didn't save Lucia, Lucia saved him. And Osito Dulce will forever preserve the story of a family that met by chance and stayed together because of love. The end. Did Santiago and Lucia's story touch you as much as it touched us? This beautiful story teaches that families are not always formed by blood, but by love and the decisions of the heart. Santiago could not imagine that a simple question from a 5-year-old girl would completely change his life, transforming a lonely businessman into a loving father. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like and share the video with those special people who will also be moved by this beautiful family. Osito Dulce, the little keeper of happy memories, reminds us that the most valuable moments in life are those we spend with loved ones. If you want to continue enjoying stories that make you feel and think about love, family, and real connections, subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell so you don't miss new stories. Tell us in the comments what country you are watching us from. We are very happy to know that our stories reach hearts all over the world.